personal, but the one thing that connects it all is that he opened my mouth to speak. And once you find that common denominator, you lead from the position of what do you have in common with all of those diverse manifestations. And that way you can control it if you can understand its origin.
Hey, you said in a recent book called Destiny, you say, don't leave the planet having missed the great opportunities God has for you. Rip off the lid of your abilities, tear open your box of talents, use every single gift God has given you. Is that sort of what you were driving at here?
Absolutely the same thing. I think that we are often underutilized, and the source of our frustration and what we think is burnout is really the frustration of not being challenged. If you're not doing anything that scares you, if you're not doing anything that makes you pray a little bit more, if you're not challenged in such a way that you're not sure of yourself, you've outgrown yourself. If every day's challenge is so predictable that it requires nothing of you beyond what you did yesterday, you're not growing. We have become shut up in a life that is beneath what God put inside of us, and we're frustrated. We don't even know why. We need to be challenged every day.
So you also said in that same book, Destiny, that you can't go through the door of destiny without passing through the hallway of haters. Tell us more about that.
I think they're a symptom that you're on the right track. Yeah, they're symptomatic, but if you can't endure the symptoms, then you can't have the success. But what really is amazing is it's the things that you learn along the way that make you who you are. And part of those classes are taught to you by your haters. And you have to appreciate that. I mean, Jesus had them, everybody had them, and the haters are just an instrument, an attempt to distract you, and sometimes to educate you, sometimes to point out deficiencies in you, because they're not always wrong.
Yeah.
So you have to do like my mother taught us with eating fish, you have to eat the meat and throw away the bones. But to respond to them and to miss your mark because you, in a misguided moment, think that success is changing their minds.
Yeah.
You enter into a debate with them, trying to convince them as if you needed them to endorse you to do what God had called you to do. And God didn't call you to change their mind. He called you to set your face as flint and keep moving forward. And haters are the seducers that say, you're not there because I don't like you. And you have to resist that in order to pass the test to enter into the realm of greatness to which God has called you.
So you started writing books, and then you went into the producing of records and the building of a record label. And then you more recently into the making of major motion pictures in Hollywood, other places around the world. Why did you get into movie making?
Well, you know, Jesus taught people through parables. And I think that if we're going to affect the world, we have to minister through stories that they can relate to. The art of great storytelling is to allow people to see themselves without assaulting them with the truth they see. And so this is a great vehicle through which we can do that. And the other thing that you have to remember, there are more people in the theater on Friday night than there are in the pews on Sunday morning. If you're going to affect the culture, you have to escape the walls of our sanctuary. We keep telling people to come to church, but the Great Commission wasn't about coming, it was about us going into all the world and into all the world systems, and the arts and entertainment is one of the vehicles that takes us into the area where we can affect the world.
You're still pastoring,
yes.
You're still writing books, you're still doing the music
stuff. They haven't fired me
yet. And now, you know, you're into these major motion pictures, some of which have done incredibly well, the last couple in particular. And just a leadership question again, how far is your head really in that game?
Throughout all of my organizations, my for-profits and not-for-profit companies, about 350 employees work for me. It isn't about me being everywhere, though I generally end up on every set at some point or another, and sometimes multiple days on the set. But then I have very competent people around me, and I think that you are no greater than the people you put around you. You see Jesus spending more time with the 12 than he did with the 5,000. If you can find the people who really have the skill set that make it possible for you to fulfill a dream, your dream should be bigger than you. If you can fulfill your own dream by yourself, your dream is much too small, because the dream is designed to be beyond you so that you can be inclusive of other great people. I don't think you're really great until you can be around great people and not be intimidated by their greatness. As long as you must be the king of the room you're in and everybody must bow when you walk in, it's only a sign that you're very small. Because truly great men can surround themselves with great people and not be intimidated because you know who you are. A lot of us are troubled by the fact that we never talk to anybody that doesn't think like us, dress like us, vote like us, and feel like us. And our perspectives are narrow because we have asphyxiated our dreams, because we have only limited them to a tribal perspective when we have a global God.
More recently, you've started international business ventures. This list is just broadening of how much stuff you're leading. I want to get to a very practical leadership question here. So, do you spend like Mondays thinking about one venture, Tuesday the next venture, Wednesday, or do you sort of juggle all of these throughout every single day and keep track of it that way?
This is what I realized. At the end of every day, I will never get finished everything I needed to do. If I did great with the business, I missed a father moment. If I did great with the kids, I missed a husband moment. If I did great with the wife, I missed a pastoral moment. There's always something I'm going to miss every day. The art of being able to manage many things is never let it be the same thing twice. When you start missing too many moments in the same area, that area will begin to deplete, okay? So maybe I didn't do the husband thing as well on Monday, but I got it on Tuesday, and it is about juggling. Touching everything but holding nothing too long. And if you have to hold it to have it, then you didn't hire the right people. You should have to touch it, but you shouldn't have to hold it. If I have to hold it to keep it going, then I have the wrong people in place.
I can tell, because we've known each other for so long, that God seems to be increasing your capacity. And without asking you to divulge more than you want to, we were together backstage one time after a speaking engagement, and it was one of the first times that I've apologized. We had about a 90-minute conversation.
Yes, we did.
Things that got dropped. Did some people let you and dig out of it?
It's a process where you're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to be depleted and exhausted.